Hey there, this is Vin and Pip's channel. Um, Me and Pip were discussing something about the woman at the well. We were talking about how, you know, the father spoke to the woman and, our Messiah, when he was sitting there, and she says, well, what does a Jew want anything to do with the Semerian? You know? And he's like, don't you know? And time's coming. And he was warning her about the fleshing of the covenant, saying it's going to come a day when, you know, Semerians are welcome into the Gentiles, the fullness of the Gentiles are going to come in. And he said that, he said, how many husbands, she said, how many husbands you got? And she said, I don't have a husband. And she said, well, that's true. You don't have a husband. But what he was actually saying to it is, you're not married to me. And if you're not married to Messiah, then you genuinely don't have a husband. You know, all these things. Like he was saying, you're right. You've had five husbands, but at the moment you don't have a husband. He said this thing that you told me is true. What you don't actually realise is he's saying that you're not married to me, so you don't have a husband. You know, you're gonna die. If you're not married to Messiah, you're gonna die. But then he says to her, you know, about the living waters. He says, like, woman, you can come and take these waters from the well, yeah. He said, if you take my water, you'll never thirst again. Because my water's a living water. And the amazing thing is, she caught what he said and she left a pail of water at the well and ran up back to Samaria with no water, telling everybody the truth about the living waters. And that's the most amazing thing about that John 4 bit, like. Um, but as well, he was telling her that the sacrificial law was over. Like I looked into it. The Sumerians were still doing their own version of sacrificial law and whatever. They were all doing it. Is what it is. But anyways, more to it than that. I went back to like Mount Sinai, and I thought, when God said, anybody who sets foot upon this mountain shall surely die. They shall surely die. And I was thinking, what does that mean? He said, surely they'll be stoned to death or run through when the sacrificial law was being given. And he said, even if an animal walks onto this mountain, like, surely they'll die, you know? And I thought, that's a parable. That's what he's telling us, right? If you set foot upon the mountain of the sacrificial law, Mount Sinai, and not the other mountain where the Ten Commandments were given, if you choose that one and don't choose that one, surely you're going to die. And that's what he was saying. That's what he was saying. Anybody who sets foot on this mountain will surely die. Why? Because you can't be forgiven. Not through this mountain. The only way you can be forgiven is walking in his covenant. And that's on the other mountain, isn't it? That's on. You know what? I get confused with mountains. Is it Horeb? Yeah? Because there's like three different mountains with H's: Horeb, Hebron, Hermon. There's fucking loads of them, isn't there? And yeah, so that's whatever whatever mountain the fucking Ten Commandments were given on. That's that's the mountain you got to set foot on, and then you can be saved. But if you walk up that mountain, it's telling you right now you're gonna die. But anyway, we were back to the Semerian woman, and yes, so she left her pot of water at the well, and went up without back without any water. I started telling people the truth. He said, "Time's gonna come, love. Time's gonna come where you no longer worship in Jerusalem. Yeah, where you no longer worship anywhere, but you worship in spirit and truth." So, spirit and truth, what's that? You know what I mean? That's amazing. So, I've heard loads of people who are in different churches. Oh, we worship in spirit and truth. No, 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 no. Spirit and truth is walking in his covenant. And that's how you truly worship him. That's how you truly gain forgiveness. So I would stop listening to people and, look it up yourself. Read the book yourself. But, yeah, so that was just an interesting one that happened at about 1:30 in the morning. Thought I'd just tell everyone. And especially, I wanted to reach out to my beautiful wife. And I'm going to make a longer video on this with her. And because we get into a lot of details. But anyway, that's a simple thing, isn't it? Okay, till next time, been a Pip's channel.